Well, for more analysis of China's infrastructure, I spoke with Zhenhua Chen, assistant professor in city and regional planning at Ohio State University. I began by asking about where China stands globally in terms of infrastructure capabilities.
Well, China actually is generally considered as the world center of manufacturing. As we know, that is really in terms of ranking of scale of manufacturing output. However, according to the most recent China Manufacturing's Power Development Index report, the overall manufacturing's capability actually ranks the number 4th, which is still behind the US, Germany, and Japan. So keep in mind that overall capability index really considers not only about the scale, but also consider about the quality as well as the structure and sustainability.
So then, as we saw, public infrastructure projects are getting more and more essential, especially during the pandemic. What's your understanding of how this is being approached?
Well, infrastructure, as we know, play a backbone role for our economy and society. In fact, during the pandemic, as we can see, infrastructure has played even a more critical role, given that they provide essential services to our daily life. Just looking at examples of the COVID at the initial stage of the outbreak, transportation infrastructures provide a seamless help to disseminate the PPE, while later in the stage, as we have seen, the vaccination has also been distributed rapidly. Many studies have also confirmed that infrastructure's investment is going to generate various economic impacts through promoting the regional growth, employment, distributing the knowledge spillover, promoting the economic efficiency improvement. So definitely, as we can see, given the outbreaks of the pandemics become under control, we would expect the infrastructure investment is going to play an even more important role to revive the economy and to promote the sustainable and economic growth in the next decade.
So then, what do you see as China's biggest strengths and challenges in really modernizing its infrastructure?
Well, not long ago, as we know, China has launched a comprehensive multidimensional transportation network plan, that is through the centralized planning. They also have set up the carbon neutral goals for 2060 to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions in the next 35 years. So definitely we can see that in the future's infrastructure investment in smart and resilient infrastructures is going to become the key focus. In particular, China has now put the focus on 7 different infrastructures domains with a much more higher priority for development, including 5G base stations, high ultra power transmissions lines, intercity high-speed rail lines, intro rail system, big data center, artificial intelligence, EV charging station, and industrial internet. So as we can see, in addition to these development, there's also emphasis on developing the existing system to make them be more sustainable and also be resilient to the impact of climate changes for sustainable development.
So then with these modernized industries then comes obviously changing skill set requirements. So when you look at the rise of automation in the workforce, what will the future look like against this backdrop of an aging population?
That is true. Developing actually intelligent manufacturing has become a global trend. It is also the key directions for China's transformation and upgrade for the manufacturing industries. The economic theory of production has told us that given the limited of input of supply, such as the capitals and labors, the key is really to improve the technological innovations, trying to improve the total factor productivity. That is to say, given we have this aging population, given that increase of the wages and the shrinkage of the labor force is going to become the challenges, how could we really accelerate the speed of innovations and to promote the ability of human beings and accelerate the production efficiency is going to be the key.
And we certainly see China's innovations not going unnoticed. I want to now look at the US's $250 billion bill to counter competition with China. What can we expect once this bill takes effect, and how concerned should China be about it?
Well, it is definitely good and a sign to see that the federal government has made the commitment to invest in transportation and infrastructure in general, which is a non-need for the U.S. However, we should also be noted that this is still at the very early stage before anything impactful become a reality. This is because there's still a lot of uncertainties in the process of legislation, financing, planning, project development, and operations. But personally, I don't think there's anything that China has to concern about. But instead, I do believe competitions actually promote the progress for the development and sustainable approaches for infrastructure investment, both in China and the U.S., is definitely going to be important to facilitate the well-being of both nations. And also, in addition to competitions, I also think that both countries should try to collaborate and cooperate so that they can learn from each other because they have their unique advantages.